Beginner's Guide to Photography: Understanding Camera Settings. Photography is an art form that allows you to capture moments, tell stories, and express your creativity through images. Understanding camera settings is crucial for achieving the desired results and taking control of your photography. In this beginner's guide, we'll explore some essential camera settings and how they affect your photos. Mode dial. Most cameras have a mode dial with different shooting modes. The common ones are: 1. Auto. The camera handles all settings automatically. 2. Program, P. Auto exposure with some user control. 3. Aperture priority, A or AV. You set the aperture, and the camera selects the appropriate shutter speed. 4. Shutter priority, S or TV. You set the shutter speed, and the camera adjusts the aperture. 5. Manual, M. You have full control over both aperture and shutter speed. Aperture. Aperture controls the amount of light entering the camera and affects the depth of field, the area of sharp focus. It is represented by an f number, e.g., f 2.8, f8. Lower f numbers, e.g., f 2.8, result in a wider aperture, allowing more light and creating a shallow depth of field, great for portraits. Higher f numbers, e.g., f8, narrow the aperture, reducing the amount of light and increasing the depth of field, suitable for landscapes. Shutter speed. Shutter speed determines the length of time the camera's shutter remains open, controlling the amount of light reaching the sensor and capturing motion. Fast shutter speeds, e.g., 1/1000th s, freeze action, while slower speeds, e.g., 1/30th s, create motion blur. It's important to use a tripod or stabilize the camera at slower shutter speeds to avoid camera shake. ISO. ISO measures the sensitivity of the camera's sensor to light. 1. Lower ISO values, e.g., ISO 100, produce cleaner images with less noise but require more light. 2. Higher ISO values, e.g., ISO 1600, make the sensor more sensitive, allowing you to shoot in low light but increasing the chance of noise in the image. 3. White balance. White balance adjusts the color temperature of your photos to make them appear natural under different lighting conditions. Common options include auto, daylight, cloudy, shade, tungsten, fluorescent, and custom. 1. Experimenting with white balance can create different moods in your photographs. 2. Focus mode. Focus mode determines how the camera focuses on your subject. 3. The common modes are: single shot off. Focuses on the subject when you press the shutter halfway and locks it until you take the shot. Continuous off. Continuously adjusts focus as long as you keep the shutter pressed halfway, useful for moving subjects. Manual focus, MF. You manually adjust the focus by rotating the focus ring on the lens. Metering modes. Metering modes measure the brightness of the scene to determine the exposure. The common modes are: evaluative or matrix, analyzes the entire frame for an even exposure. Center weighted, considers the central part of the frame for exposure. Spot, measures a small area, often at the center, for precise exposure control. Exposure compensation. Exposure compensation allows you to adjust the exposure level determined by the camera's metering. It's useful when you want to brighten or darken the overall image. A positive value, +1, +2, increases the exposure, while a negative value, -1, -2, decreases it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my YouTube channel.